manipulate numbers and push you on a train of emotion. Obviously, there are issues in this country, there are issues everywhere, but you do not want to base everything you're doing on outliers. Then I want to talk about all the updates of the crazy Cleveland story that involving the 3 Castro brothers as well as the 3 girls that were rescued. If you didn't watch yesterday's show and you have not seen the news at all, there were 3 girls that have been missing for roughly 10 years. They were found and rescued thanks to the BAMF of yesterday's show, Mr. Charles Ramsey. All 3 brothers were arrested, but you knew that if you watched yesterday's show. The big updates today. 1, as predicted, Mr. Charles Ramsey was songified by Shmoyoho.
Yeah, give it away. Yeah, give it away. My neighbor got big testicles because we see this doing every day.
That was expected, and the song is catchy as hell. I do feel kind of weird about it, because like when Antoine Dodson became a person people cared about, it was because his sister was almost raped. Also, props to Antoine Dodson for recently just damaging the gay movement. Good job for you. But with this one, there were actually people that were just brutalized for 10 years, so it's like, don't know how to feel, especially with reports about what happened to these women. The new reports are all kinds of concerning. At first, the Cleveland police saying, we had no idea this was going to happen. Everyone's saying this guy was a normal guy. Then there was a USA Today article, which many people have been like, oh, well, a lot of this is hearsay. It's people saying stuff in your print that not 1, not 2, but 3 neighbors called the police on the Castro brothers for things that just seem suspicious. And we're not talking about like the reports that like they were taking an odd amount of McDonald's back to the house and they were like, that seems like a lot of food. Or reports of neighbors seeing a woman in Castro's house banging on the window trying to get help, as well as one of the weirdest twisted stories that someone said that they called police because they saw in the backyard of the Castro house 3 naked women being led around on dog leashes. The woman saying she called police, but after 2 hours, no one showed up and she just didn't do anything else. But it wasn't just USA Today, there were definitely smaller outlets as well as the New York Times. But in response to this, the Cleveland police said not only did they do nothing wrong, the police spokesman told CNN on Tuesday that they had never received a phone call at all. But then the Cleveland police backpedaled that previous statement and they were like, oh, actually it turns out there were 2 phone calls regarding the house, but one was just Ariel Castro himself calling about a fight outside, and another incident involved Castro and his job as a bus driver. So obviously with how terrible that dog leash story sounds, you wanted to go, okay, well the police are probably telling the truth, but the fact that they issued an incorrect statement in the beginning makes it go, well, either they're stupid or they're trying to hide something, or what? If the phone call was real and the police could have stopped just years of captivity. WKYC in Cleveland reporting that all these girls were forced to have sex with these men and it resulted in several pregnancies. And according to their sources, the women were beaten until they were forced to have a miscarriage. Though it does seem like one of the babies did survive, that being potentially Amanda Berry. But then there's also the question, how did the son of the abductor not realize that there were 3 women just locked in the house? And he talked about how his father padlocked doors to the basement, attic, and garage because we weren't allowed to go in there. And there were photos on the Daily Mail showing that these doors actually did exist. And he talked about how his father was a violent man who beat him and his mother after her brain surgery. And that just 3 weeks ago, he asked his son, do you think they'll ever find those missing girls? And then, of course, the question that has shown up many times on the internet, is the son lying? Is he just trying to cover his own ass? Obviously, as an outsider that's just getting information, you're having to kind of like look at what's real, what may not be real. I personally don't know. I do believe that he could have not known. There were 2 doors in my house growing up that I was not allowed to go into. They, I don't imagine, contained women that my dad had stolen, but contained like my dad's guns that he didn't want me to go in there and shoot myself in the face, or just have general privacy. And even to this day, I feel weird walking to my dad's bedroom. I'm like, oh, I'm not supposed to be here. Like, we forget the control a parent has over their child. So we'll see. Once again, the good thing to the situation is these women are out. However physically and mentally damaged and tormented they were, that today is a better day than yesterday. And the hope is that will continue and continue until maybe they have a shred of normalcy. Then in general awesome movie news, the first full trailer for Ender's Game came out and it kind of looks fantastic. One, it looks gorgeous. 2, Ace Butterfield looks awesome in the movie, and I think he's going to make a fantastic Ender. 3, I saw a criticism that Harrison Ford looks tired, but if he's playing the character that I think he's playing, then he should probably look tired. 4, multiple sources have said that they've changed the story from the book to the movie. Hopefully that doesn't mean an exclusion of, that video game that happens, and also Bean being awesome. And 5, despite many people saying that the author is a terrible, terrible human being, and that probably is true, you should read Ender's Game. It's a fantastic book, easily in my top 10. And hopefully it is as awesome as it possibly could be. The reason I am still kind of skeptical about this movie is the director is Gavin Hood. He was also the director of X-Men Origins Wolverine, which in my opinion was just a shit show. It is a fact that Hugh Jackman is a man, but the movie was being directed by a guy that was like, hey, Ryan Reynolds, also known as Deadpool, your character is going to be a mute. Because that Deadpool character isn't known for his personality or things he says. But everyone makes mistakes. I'm not sure how you got this movie, but I really do hope that you do an awesome job. And then our daily break from reality, Sexy Time News, thanks to a recommendation from the nation, Miss Francia Risa. I probably butchered your name. Did not initially know who she was. Then when I went to her Twitter, I was like, oh, thanks for having a Twitter bio that answers that question with, what you want to know? Who you are. Turns out you might have seen her because she's a model actress who's been on CSI, In Plain Sight, Something Something Teenager, and other shows I don't watch. But she is very pretty, I like her lips, and she reminds me that I'm definitely down with the swirl. And if you'd like to see more of her, I made an awesome time gallery in the links down below for your perusing. Also for the man lovers of the nation, the ladies of the office, pick Mr. Zac Efron today, so if you want to see, I don't know, abs, muscles, charming smile, get out of here. Link to that down below. I hate you. I don't hate you, I love you. Specifically your face. Then nation, I want to talk about medicine. I want to talk about going to the hospital. Hate it. Hospitals freak me out, but for most of my life until like a year ago, I did not have health insurance. So I was just like, I don't have enough money. Prior to having health insurance, the only time I went to the doctor was like I broke my arm, and then when I was a baby, I would get these like massive fevers. But like that is pretty much it. Also, there was a time I had a kidney stone, and I went to the emergency room, and I was like, please God, I have a kidney stone. I just need just anything. And they're like, well, how do you know you have a kidney stone? And I was like, I don't know, because the fucking raging pain from the place that this could only be the thing. But then they pushed me to get expensive tests, and then, oh yay, they gave me a prescription med to just deal with the pain. I believe that cost me $5,000 to $6,000 for blood work and an x-ray. Thanks. And it's been this constant question of why is medicine in America so damn expensive? And like most things in life, it seems like it came from greed, or I'm sorry, a love of good margins. Today, a federal database of national healthcare costs was made public, and holy shit. The difference in price for the same procedures at different hospitals just in New York. The example they used was for treatment to help COPD, that's chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. At the Lincoln Medical and Mental Health Center, they charge $7,044, while 30 miles away, a different hospital charges you $99,690 for the same exact thing. And the giant database that you can now look through shows the 100 most common inpatient procedures and the difference in cost based on each hospital. Another example, once again, just from the New York City area, a joint replacement. One hospital will charge you $15,000, while the other outlier will charge you $155,000. Then closer to home for me, 2 hospitals in LA for the same exact treatment for pneumonia varies by $100,000. But of course, the question is, well, why? Well, the argument here is that the hospitals are basing their prices on how much they can take from Medicaid, Medicare, just any insurance, and their main goal, on top of fixing people on a business level, is milk those son of bitches dry. And obviously, no one's feeling bad for the health insurance companies. They screw people over every day, but who really gets screwed? Well, the estimated 49 million Americans who do not have health insurance. Even when you look at that first example of COPD, even though there is a huge difference between $7,000 and $99,960, the massive $10,000 to $40,000 differences just between hospitals that are very close is a huge, huge deal. Once again, just another example of when the really, really rich people are just trying to suck money from each other. Who gets screwed? Not them, everyone else. If you'd like to check out the database, link to it down below. See who is screwing you. And guys, that's really everything I wanted to talk about, and brings us to the question of the day. What's your medical situation? Do you have health insurance? When you go to the doctor, what is it for? How much do you normally pay? And the biggest question of all, who are you angrier at? The hospitals themselves, who are trying to take advantage of the insurance companies, or the insurance companies? Or is it both of them, or nobody? Let me know in the comments down below. Remember to possibly be pelted with $50 worth of stuff from fullhumanpeoples.com. Leave a comment down below. Join the conversation. Maybe while you're at it, you hit the like button, favorite. Also, big thanks to the sponsor of today's show, Netflix.com/PhillyD. You use that URL, you get a free month binge streaming movie. But, of course, as always, my name's Phillip DeFranco. You've just been filled in. I love your faces, and I'll see you tomorrow.